How is it different from you being an individual?
See, if I need to do, sorry.
If the rules for you and the team are same.
Yes, it is the same, but I need to make their mind to do the things. It's if my mind, I can do, right? But to push the team members to do the things, it's quite hard.
So are you saying as a QA manager, you can attend a conference, the QA testers can't attend the conference?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my point.
Well, you're just shutting down learning opportunities, right?
The question actually is quite philosophical, nothing to do with testing. The same question will apply to any domain in this world and about humans. So first of all, you can't make anybody do anything.
Yeah.
If you are a manager and somebody is an engineer, you're basically playing a power game with that person when you say do this, right? So this game is rigged. If you're in this game, there is no way out. And it is very difficult to come out of the game as well. As Rahul said, it took him 15 years, and there's a lot of hard work for him to, after which he had the courage to actually step out. It's not easy, right? So one of the hopes is that you realize that you're playing a game and keep it compartmentalized. And if that is paying the bills for your home and for your family, do it. It's not about leaving your jobs, right? But find some time for your own self improvement, right? And as a manager, if you have people who are not interested to learn, right? Don't have those people in your team. Don't have them in your company. Why to have them in your company? There is a reason why Apple has only 35,000 engineers compared to IBM, which has more than 1 lakh, compared to Google, which has probably 80,000. And you would agree Apple doesn't look like a company which has very few engineers, right? It is on the same level, most valued company in the world. So the point is of having skilled people. Now you probably, again, if you're talking about truth, nobody here, most of the people here do not have the authority and the power to actually say, let's change this set of people, right? So then it becomes more of a cribbing thing that, you know, the world sucks, the company sucks, the politics sucks. Well, yeah, so if you keep talking about what sucks, you are part of the problem. So the best thing you can do is lead by example. If you like it, if you like something, you're passionate about something, do it. If people get inspired by it, you'll eventually will have people who will, group around you, right? And people who are not interested, why are you wasting time with them, right? But of course, it's difficult, it's political, you probably will not have the the power to actually remove people and say, okay, I don't want these people. Then where will you have? I don't know how many people have done interviews. I've been doing hundreds and hundreds of interviews every year. It is very difficult to find the people which I would say I like. It's impossible to even do a 45-minute interview and say, okay, yeah, this person would be nice. I would not know that person, like what would really interest him. When you put them in those projects, in those tough situations, would he really be taking initiative, which is everywhere in the resumes? Please, side note, please don't use these adjectives. I am very strong, I'm excellent, and like, it's quite funny, but yeah, sorry. Yeah.
कौन सा पैशन है? मजबूरी वाला पैशन है या दिल से पैशन है? मजबूरी वाला is like you have to have a job. ये फैशन वाला पैशन है, मजबूरी वाला पैशन है, you have to find out. See, ultimately I think what Rahul said makes sense. At the end of the day, there are only two types of people, leader and a manager. Leader has no fear. Leader doesn't worry about anything. If he wants to learn, he will learn. If he wants to unlearn, he will unlearn. If he wants to relearn, he will relearn. So leader does all the three. Because a leader has an offer letter of a new company in his right pocket and a resignation letter of the current company in the left pocket. He's a leader. उसको डर नहीं है. वो कुछ भी कर सकता है. हमारे पास दोनों लेटर नहीं है, दोनों पॉकेट में. तो जो बोला जा रहा है, बोल रहे जावा पढ़ो, otherwise you are out. फिर जावा पढ़ना पड़ेगा. Python karo, otherwise you are out. So I think your manager is dictating the context, not the leaders. And sadly, we don't have many leaders in the country.
Okay, thanks, Doc. Last 3 questions. Yeah. There, yeah.
So, I think my question was similar. I am Somana. So getting used to multiple things. So there is a concept called full stack in the industry. The full stack is not the UI middle tier. Full stack. Yeah, this full stack is not the original, like the middle tier or the UI middle tier DB kind of. This full stack is developer, tester, or a QA, and an analyst. So this is something is there current in the industry. So this could be because of the cost of management. They think that we would have full stack engineers where they're capable of doing it. And it takes time to develop over to, these skills. But I think, as Rahul mentioned, specializing in one area is what expected. He has to be completely specialized in one area and play other areas. So, and this full stack is coming up, and it's thriving in the market. So, what is your take on? Anyone can answer that. So, what's the take on that? So, what they expect is not that a person should be able to develop, test, and analyze the same story or a business requirement, but you should be able to develop at the same frame. You should be able to develop on one story and probably take up testing on another story, and maybe take up analysis on another story, business requirement. So this is expectation. So what is your take on that? Maybe this is for the cost, effectiveness, but yeah, what is your take on effectiveness and quality of the delivery?
The customer said, a customer was from a non-IT background into the IT industry. डॉक्टर साहब मैं तो सोच रहा था आप तो इतने दिन पूरे टेबल बना के दे रहे हैं हमें, a table with a roof and a 4 legs. So आजकल ये क्या full stack, half stack आ गया? Are you going to give us a half table? So now the question is, again, this is again a very interesting jargon of the industry, which realizes every time that it has a shortcoming and it has a term to overcome the shortcoming. With that, I will leave it to the panel.
You want your first sentence? One sentence first? Okay. Okay, yeah. So again, full stack, I'm sure you would have Googled it, right? And there would be some definition about full stack. This is again nothing new. Anybody who has been a good engineer has been doing everything by themselves. On a shoestring project, Alan Turing, right? He did a lot of stuff, not just create the algorithm to break that machine, the Enigma machine, but he actually thought about that machine which was to be built. Like in those days, if you actually look at the Google's definition and look at anybody in the history, any good engineers, all inspiring stories, you will see they're all full stack developers. So this is again marketing jargon, which is trying to bubble up stuff so that you're always distracted. Like if anybody has seen the movie Up, where there was this dog, and you talk to that dog and he'll say in 1 second, squirrel, squirrel. So he's always distracted, and that's actually bread and butter for certain industries and certain people, to keep you constantly looking at that squirrel. And as Rahul said, like if you can just focus and just if you read a lot of stuff, like Elon Musk, for example, like he's an odd person out because he's into 5 different domains which are very different, right? But even if you listen to such people, they will keep talking about the same concept, like be passionate, go deep, like, and whatever you learn deep actually applies to any engineering concept. Like people who are really, really good in C++, they are not jobless right now. They are still making, they are on Perl or Python or any other language. The language is not what defines an engineer. Engineer actually makes a new tool or a new language so that he or she can do something better and quicker for herself. It's not like those Java, C, they can also do the stuff. As long as you have good, solid engineering backgrounds, self-marketing, again, if you would want to listen more at 4 o'clock.
Or,
because this is...
Work expands to how much the customer is willing to pay.
Which is different from
You want a
self.
full stack guy, you get a customer who will pay only for one QA person, and believe me, he will become a full stack.
Yeah.
So, or you say that, I mean, I'm just coming up with certain terms like, say full stack, they say if you want to have a Scrum team, it takes around 5 years. So we should give that lenience and time to become a full stack team, and then think of business cost. I mean, have that in mind.
Did you say 5 years?
5 years, yes.
Which
I mean, that
team
is
in India stays for 5 years?
This is one of the agile coaches had
So you see,
mentioned, saying
that is the BS. We should stop there, especially when it
So
is
it is
applicability
not
is there.
practical.
No, not yours. Please understand. I'm not saying when you hear these things, how to spot nonsense or unapplicability is 5 years. 5 years. How many of you are for more than 5 years with your current organization? Okay, that's still a good number, by the way. That's still a good number. I wasn't expecting this. But 5 years continuity, if you take half the team away, you fill in new people, that doesn't mean 5 years for the team. So it means indirectly they are telling you it is never going to be a full stack team. And that is the practical challenge. Do you really have full stack engineers like that? How many? What, is it a product company? Is it a services company? Product company. So do you really see full stack engineers? What is the ratio do you typically see? Yeah, that is, it is, that way it is seen everywhere. It would be on the walls also with slogans, motivational things. It's not that you would not find full stack people in India. But just like good SDETs, just like good testers, just like good managers, just like good test automation engineers, they're very rare to find. Basically, nobody wants to do a job. Mostly we don't want to do. Huh? Good is difficult to find. LinkedIn is anyways filled with everything.
Hi, this is Ashwini. I have two questions. One is basically because of the, so we are saying that let's not box ourselves into a role or specific skill set. Then again, we are saying that in future we are expecting specialists. So it's like, I mean, the whole point of going through schooling where we study so many subjects and then get into engineering, pick up, field of interest, and then go into masters to do a specialization, and then further continues like that. With a PhD, you're basically narrowing down your field of interest. So, but here we are basically trying to say, or building like, we are jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. Like with even when a component or a product we take, we are trying to decouple every single component that is interdependent so that it can individually work on its own. So we are even breaking down a product module so that it can function on its own and it can be tested independently on its own. But again, when it comes to people's skill set, maybe we can select our area of interest and then hone our skills around that. A developer need not necessarily, learn to analyze and design, test, design, think about the delivery aspects of it and things like that. So I don't know, I kind of see a contradiction here from what we are saying.
So just to answer that, I have anyways made my stand clear.
Yeah.
I'm in for specialization.
Correct, yeah.
Right? So there is no disagreement here. I'll move it to the rest of the panel.
In the engineering college where I work, in the first year, they all have cleared the CET and COMET K. So I'm understanding all these entrance exams now. So these boys are doing, the first year we all did physics, chemistry, Smithy, Foundry, mathematics, everything, okay? Then I have prepared an employability branch selection test. They have cleared and they have got a rank. And they have been told, you've got a great rank, you are a computer science engineer. And what he has done, he has cleared physics, chemistry, maths, all the stuff, and he's been told that you're a computer science engineer. The other guy has been told you're an ECE, you're an ECE, ECE, metallurgy, and all that. So Rahul is an example how mechanical moves into. So in the first year itself, there are certain tests which we have identified, which will tell to me that he might have got a rank for computer science, but he's not a computer science guy. We test the real logics. We have tests. In fact, I'm defining and designing those tests. That will really solve a lot of problems in the country because we have a lot of square pegs in round hole, a lot of misfits. A guy actually does civil, but he has a IT mindset. A guy does metallurgy, but he's an MBA material. So I have done something that in the first year itself, I have moved the boys to the MBA department in the same college. First year engineering student has been moved to MBA. MBA means the BBA come MBA, some dual programs, I don't know. The first year guy who was supposed to do computer science from second year, we found that he's a telecom guy. He cleared the telecom test, his signaling, his knowledge was fantastic. We had good questions to test him. So even within engineering, we find that, forget about after the job, before the job itself, people are not decided because they don't really know what they're good at. So I think it's a very big issue from a pedagogy standpoint. Blame it to McAlvey, blame it on any other people who devised all these structures in place. I think the seeding of identifying who you are, by the time you realize who you are, half of the career and life is gone many a times. You must do your own assessments to know who you are. In fact, that's why when I wrote that commandment, how have you become a tester? Are you a tester who thought I can't code? This is an easy way to get into the IT industry? Or are you the tester who thought that even if I know to code, I love testing? Which tester are you? Passion wala? Yeah, it's a distress passion or a pure passion. There are two types of passion. Distress passion. डिस्ट्रेस में हो गया तो उसको पैशन में कन्वर्ट कर लेते हैं लोग कन्वीनियंटली. So I think this is a question, a larger question I'm putting to all of you. Know yourself, do a SWOT early on in the whole system. Questions have been designed to tell whether you will make a good metallurgical engineer. That girl was even terrified to get into a mechanical lab, and she has got a rank for a mechanical engineer, and she is doing something. And I asked her, what are you going to do? Sir, I'm going to do anyway IT. Just imagine 3 years she's going to mull over and run over all those thermodynamics and engines and generators just to write a piece of code in Python in the last year. Waste of time. Waste of time. Yes.
I have a question.
I've been silent for a long while now. Okay. So what makes you happy deep down? What you wanted to become? Aspiration.
I'm basically from electronics and communications, and I'm working in Siemens right now. So I deal with PLCs as well. So that is my area of interest. Electronics is my area of interest. So I'm working with what I like.
I think you have an answer
Your
within
question
yourself.
being, yeah.
What you want to do and how deep you want to go, because
Agreed, but then when you bring in agile and scrum teams, everybody is expected to know everything and work on everything. So I
Right.
don't know how feasible is it in reality.
you put
So that was my question.
Yeah, you put 2 diagrams on the agile on the big screen and replicate those block diagrams 6 times. Wow, what a diagram. It's agile. Okay, it's agile industries. Like agile industries and bros. It's a marketing thing. It's not about a jargon. It's about what you want and can you make a difference. Even your gold heuristic. Go 1 layer down, and once you go there, go 1 more layer. Maybe you'll find the treasure. It's just the patience. How far I can see and how deep I can go. Can I go? Can I afford it? Oh, I have all the problems. So it depends on the individual, how deeply I can go. All these things, Kanban and everything, these are logical statements to me. They help if it fits into it. If it doesn't, then use a different model. These are fear mongers. They inject a fear in you. Then you start talking about it. Your friend comes to you. Do you do agile? And you're like, what is that? You don't do agile? Then you feel psychologically, oh, this is something I got to do. Then you go and start following it. If it's explained, it's a simple thing. Making sense out of what you do. That's it. So go deeper. Do it for yourself, because anyways, we all are going to die.
On that happy note. Yeah, well, actually, Satosh did touch upon a crucial psychological component called FOMO, fear of missing out, is what a lot of people actually try on. And if you see, I don't think maybe how we are speaking got misunderstood, or if we were coming out wrong. There wasn't any contradictory statements, at least that's how I heard it, that be specialized or don't be specialized, because there is no one solution or one silver bullet which will fit everybody in all the domains. It's just not. If that was true, then there would have been one software in this world running the world in the matrix, and we're all plugged with to our spinal cord. So that's not the real world, or at least that's what I think. So please, the problem, it's again a fundamental problem in India, is the way that we need to be told, this is your life pattern, you have to go to school, college, masters, job, marriage, kids, then start walking with your hands folded at the back and as if you're very serious. So, and Western civilization is not like that, and the challenge is because the work has come from there, and the companies are paid from that culture, they expect that kind of thing. So we speak that. We do all the bros and cool and all the shit and all those words, right? But deep down, we still are bogged down by the philosophy which had run us for thousands of years. So we still want to make the teacher happy, say all the right things, whether you feel it or not. And that is not going to work in the future when the whole world has shrunk. And the person who is in Romania writing code and you are testing and still testing and trying to just make everybody happy, you will get caught out. You will get called out. If you don't have skills, you're shallow, it will show up and the jobs will start shrinking. Job anyways, that's the challenge. Jobs are going to shrink. They are not going to be the way it was in 90s and 2000s. So people who realize it and not get actually scared, get more excited and say, I want to learn. I always wanted to learn. I never understood why, like, where would I put that passion in place? This is the place where you can put that passion in place. You know, you will have jobs, you can have dual life, you can keep your managers happy and do the basic needs. And like, he has done that in his jobs. I know I have, right? But that should not define you. If you like, it's a common theme. Find what you love and do that. Happiness automatically will come. And if you get paid for what you love, that's the best job. Like for me, testing was like, I found out I loved testing rather development. I started doing more and more testing, and then I told somebody, man, this is the best job in the world. I get to crib about others. I don't write that cribby code, and I get paid for it. And I get like, and somebody talked about the head weight. So I come from the generation when I was a manual tester, and I would look down upon the IT guys, right? So developers and testers were the most awesome jobs in the world. People have got, you probably are not from, some are from that generation where if you got job in Infosys and Satyams and all, you would just get married just because that was on your Janam Patri or whatever. Like, that is how entrenched IT is in India, right? So then it has its own set of problems and own set of pressures. Don't do that now. Those days are gone. People who are good, who have skills of learning, not about just coding, just learning. You will find a space for yourself and you'll be happy. That is actually more important. You'll be happy to get up and go to work every day, right?
No, I think you're right, Rahul. I think there was this whole thing about, can you, this came up when my son was finishing 12th, about what do you do in the future, right? Where do you aim for? What career do you get? Anything you learn today is dead tomorrow. I mean, you're talking 5 years from now, right? Whatever you learn in IT, even if they say that I will do AI, ML, believe me, I'm sure AI, ML will go out of fashion 5 years from now. There will be something else, right? Or some different version of it. So the only thing that you can do is learn how to learn. And that, I think, is the biggest skill that they are touting today. That if you can teach kids how to learn, I think you're setting them on the right path to their future. All right. Okay, one last question.
Yeah, I have a question on specialize in development or testing, and they are asked to pick one more skill. Like if somebody is doing testing, either development role on database or surveys or UI. At the same time, when developer is asked to take up either database role or testing role, and they are specialized in development or testing, are we not compromising with the quality or the development we are doing?
One word, yes.
So I think we've beaten this thought to death. Okay. And
Yes.
yeah,
Ashish from Tech Mahindra. I've been actually into automation industry for my entire career. So we've been developing various tools, working on new technologies as we have been actually, discussing. One thing that I actually know very well is that, that whatever you're doing, whatever intelligence you put in your particular tool or whatever framework that you're using, it can't really replace, the manual testing quality that is there. And the problem that the risk I actually see, and this is the question I have for you guys. See, many times what happens is that customers go for the numbers. We try to convince them that, okay, don't go for 100% automation. That is not the right thing. But many times, we have to do to get the business because this is what they want to hear. So what we try to appreciate is that, do some bit of exploratory testing, try to use automation tool for your benefit and not, make it like, a risk to overall quality that you're actually delivering. People are just running for the numbers. I want 100% regression to be done in this particular cycle. But they are not thinking that, okay, do we need to improvise those particular packs or not? Do we need to further improvise the automation? So my actual question is, do you see this as a risk? Because we are running for the technology, we are running for AI and ML like anything, and we feel that this has to be imbibed. And man, people have started probably compromising on the quality part. So what do you think?
can I think we've done some kind of discussion around this. Go ahead and do whatever. We are a services company, right? At the end of the day. And I'm not joking, because that's exactly what you would pitch, because that's what your customer wants to hear, and you will sell him what he wants, right? And you will do what he wants as long as he's willing to pay whatever rates that are applicable. Where I have a problem is when management starts looking at this as cost-saving exercises, and they start tracking you and saying, we need 100% automation because we can then take 2 testers out of this whole scheme of things. I have never seen that work in real life, right? I have never seen it work by saying, I have an automation team, and that is going to reduce the testing effort or the manual testers' efforts. I mean, you may paint whatever ROIs, charts, and things like that, but I stand a complete disbeliever of this, right? Your bug cycles are the same, your defect loops, curves are the same, your spend is the same, and yet you claim improved quality. I mean, I don't know, I don't get it. And I think that is where the problem is. So pushback has to happen to internal management more than with the customer. If the customer is willing to pay, what the hell, yeah? I would do anything. I mean, okay, within legal limits, okay.
What's
Let me
legal?
qualify it that
All
way.
right, cool. Thank you for that amazing legal. I get scared by legal things. First of all, okay, that's a great question. Like Socrates, okay, give me a hug here. This has been for many years in my heart. Oh, feels good, man. Thank you. And we speak about AI. 1 + 1 = 2, a simple calculator or a simple chip. When it calculated, it was a natural intelligence, or it was artificial, 1 + 1 = 2 on a calculator. Exactly. So what has become now is we have got many frameworks, many these things, okay, robotics and all those things. So we are just being intimidated, challenged. Okay, this is coming, fear. Everything will be robots. Really? I don't think so. I'll wait and watch, have my whiskey and relax back, and then just see. I'm done.
Yeah, that actually is a,
So I have never seen the definition of done better explained than by Santosh here. Okay.
yeah, just to keep
So
the
if
FOMO
anybody at all want any agile learnings, Santosh's definition of done is what you need to follow.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Please don't take his word seriously. I don't think, because if you keep waiting and seeing if the AI would take over the world, by the time you'll see it, it actually would have taken. Like, I would really recommend, if people are interested in reading books, from a guy called Nick Bostrom, Super Intelligence, somebody who has influenced people like Elon Musk to talk about AI and actually make a non-profit organization called OpenAI. That's after reading his books and all. So those things are pretty out there, very difficult to comprehend for testers as a domain or as job, but it will impact. We have lakhs and lakhs of jobs in India. They will not be the same number of jobs for the same kind of work. The kind will change, is going to change. So people who are not staying up to date are going to lose out suddenly, right? So it's a great example even in the history, like American history, when the whole locomotion industry was horse carriages, if anybody goes in the history and reads it. And when the car was invented, a cycle was invented, there were lakhs of horses which were killed in that country because they just didn't have any jobs. It didn't mean there were no horses, it's just they got specialized then, right? So these things will happen, disruptions happen. And when disruption happens, you don't know whether you'll be that unlucky person, right? So the best thing we can do is find things which we like, make sure we are really, good at that. Because good people are always looked for. Like as Rahul was saying, good testers, good people are always in demand. So if you are trying to be good, you will be safe, right? But you have to work hard for it now.
Well, looks like, okay, there was a prosecutor here. Rahul. Okay, so what I meant was ethics. When I say, okay, it's apocalypse, it means that the people who are sitting at the management, they're not thinking right. They are thinking evil. Okay? Well, you are not those people. You are one person. Okay. So what I'm saying is, or anything, the more you watch, because we always watch what we love. But let's take a step back and let's see what we don't love. There is a lot of darkness. And even when you speak to people, Mozilla Firefox, don't they track us? Telemetry? They do. Even if you turn on do not track. Aren't they evil now? What is showcased in the front and what you do behind? Ask the same question to yourself. What's happening? watch the recorders, everything. Okay, it's deep. Watch Darknet, watch border security in the airports. Okay, watch the biosecurity, watch all the drug cartels, everything. It's fine because you will understand how the world is functioning. We have been only in the shell, and then we'll only see that, okay, Bangalore is good. Oh, this company is good, paychecks. But see everything. You need not be depressed. I got depressed, but you need not be depressed. You can just try to understand what's happening. Knowing is